A good kvittel. Piske Tova. Good Yom Tov. Good Moed. Erev Yom Tov. Rabbi say, there was a guy who goes over to his kid's shotgun 6 months later and gives him a check. He opens it up, he can't believe it. It's double than what he gave him before. He says, what's this? He says, my kid is married for 6 months. Now I realize what a great guy he is. And I want to pay you up even more than what I thought. Why Simcha's Torah tonight? Should have been on Shavuos when the Torah was given. You should dance with the Torah. Now you understand the answer. If you started with MDY, Megillah, a lot of people start Megillah, Sukkah. Now it's a true Simchas Torah. You learned for 6 months. You learned for a year. Geschmack. Now you can appreciate the Simchas Torah. Before it was like, I was in yeshiva 20 years ago. I didn't open a sefer and who knows how long. So what's another Simchas Torah? Go around the bima 6 times, 7 times maybe. No, those guys go 6. They sit down most of the... Now it's a time to celebrate. You take your art scroll Gemara and you dance with your art scroll Gemara. Forget the Torah. The art scroll Gemara you dance with the logo. It's not a joke. A guy yesterday was at the shir. We had a beautiful time yesterday. There was 70 people at least that came, and great time, music, and it's unbelievable. I'm going to miss this Yom Tov. Every day we had a great time. So a guy came there. I forgot his name. He's from Miami. And somebody else came over and he said, you see that guy? I came to the Daf because of him. I saw him wearing the MDY socks. And I said, what is this? And he explained to me, he's already a half a year learning Torah because of this guy who's wearing socks. You mentioned wear the socks. Okay. It's a Maisa Shahaya, not Kemat Haya, Shahaya. The guy came over to me and he corroborated the story. Check out this video that's going around in England right now. You guys ready with audio? Oh, hold on. I gotta go back. Here we go now. Yeah. Remember that dancing that we had? It was one of a kind. You got to redo it. Okay. Yeah, come to London. It's going to be just like that. Baruch Hashem, I got engaged. And this past Wednesday night was our Chaim. This is Ephraim Hod. I put it on the MDY New York City chat. Very late. Didn't expect anyone to come. Within an hour, I see the Tzaddik Peretz Chaim Levine show up. The Chaim was in Queens and Peretz Chaim is from Brooklyn. That means he glanced at the message and hesitated for a moment. MDY Chesed is next level. Oh, I got to mention this. Talking about Chesed. Last night after Shir, Morty Rasby, sitting right over here to my right, drove me as close as he can to the Kaisel and stayed in the car because there's no parking and there was thousands of people at the Kaisel. The whole Rechava, how do you say Rechava in English? No, the whole... The plaza, thank you. The whole plaza is just chairs and just people sitting, the entire thing. So, Yishkoyach Morty, and then he tells me on the way back, he's going through a whole tkufa now, medical tkufa, and random people from MDY call him up every week to see how he's doing medically. It's unbelievable. The chesed that people do, and from you, and the Kesubos should give you a Refuah Shlaima b'Karav. Reb Eli, here I am. Los Angeles resident, only a year daily Daf lesson since August 2022 in Beechwood, Ohio, learning Daf with my 3 granddaughters, zchus. They listen for 35 minutes. Kneel. So I thought it was beautiful, and then I don't want to knock this or anything. I'm just thinking to myself, but these are very young girls that don't really understand Gemara. I guess if you put a kid in front of a device, it doesn't matter what it is. These devices are so addictive. So yeah, okay. Sit there. 35 minutes. What are they doing? What is the device? It's better than just not doing anything. Just put them in front of a device. I guess if you're going to put a kid in front of the device, put on Torah. Doesn't matter. You don't have to put. You see from here. Oh, so we'll be in Lamed zchus. You don't have to put on movies or whatever. They'll take everything as long as it's the device. Good morning, Rabbi Isai Peklach. Must see. Good morning, Rabbi Isai Peklach. At an undisclosed shul location. Need to get the children on board as young as possible. Have a good Yom Tov. He's packing these Peklach with good morning, Rabbi Isai. Trying to convince these kids. This is a Chanan pressman, press in capital, because Beresh is around the corner. Not enough time to be Mavis properly. Maybe just a short vart for all of us. Not going to happen. But you can keep on pressing. But Rabbi Isai, it's my last opportunity. Well, not really, but try to jump on board. If you're not doing Shnai Mikra, it's a great time to start. It's always, now Kadosh Baruch Hu does this on purpose. The first parish is very long and difficult, and not enough days. It's always, you have to start after Simchas Torah, but that's the whole thing. You start off hard, you get a hard Masech in the beginning of Shas, another hard Masech, but then it goes smoothly. So you overcome that obstacle of Bereshis, and then it just 8 minutes a day, 7 minutes a day, depends how quick you read, or some people 20 minutes a day, but it's Kedai. Now, the list is getting shorter and shorter. Tzvi Jacobs, $360. I don't know if it's a month or a year, but we'll call it a month. Joshua Dorovich, we'll sort it all out when it's over. And all the big ones, I want to say their names again, the large donations. Why not? Joshua Dorovich. By the way, when I was at the Kaisel, I davened, not that it means anything, I davened for all the chevra, the ganze mishpach, the ganze MDY mishpach. Joshua Dorovich, 18. Joshua Berkowitz, 10. Stephen Rand, 10. Joel Mizrahi, I remember these names from before, 52. Eitan Abrams, 52. Martin Lifshitz, 27. E. Sulam, 20. Elisheva Kolach, 10. James J. Richards, 18. Shmuel Sugar, 500. Sanford Jacoby, 101. Did we say his name already? Shmuel Sugar. Ari, check it out. Remember this name also, 10. Theodore Scher, 10. Johnny Klumpes, 10. Israel Goodfriend, 18. Leon Shama, 101. Yehuda Kreitman, 10. John Fisgus, 36. Yehuda Shuk, 36. Ovadia Maperi, 10. Stuart Nussbaum, 72. We're almost done with the entire list. Yehuda Abrams, 36. Benzin Lifshitz, 18. Ronnie Avivi, 26. Avrumi Leibowitz, 15. The famous Avrumi Leibowitz. He's with us for 4 years already, from Borough Park. Yehuda E. Wyman, 101. Saul Stepner, 36. Tzvi Friedman, 18. Simcha Kreisberg, 10. Nachman Miuman. Miuman? He got me. But it goes like this. Nachman Miuman. M-I-O-U-M-A-N. Wow. Rabbeinu was sending money in. It's amazing. If Rabbeinu could send, you could also do it, Rabbi Isai. 1048. Huh? G. Cooper, 18.
Alan, you get stuck there for 360, not 236.
What?
You get Saul stuck there for 360, not 336.
Again, Saul Stepner, 37. Yeah?
You give him 360.
Why? You know the guy? I don't want to put him on the spot. Jonathan Stefansky says Saul Stepner has to step it up.
Yeah, exactly.
He has to step it up. Stepner it up, Stepner. So we're looking forward. There are no names, and if you step it up, you'll be the only name. I'll make sure you're the only guy that day. All right, that's it. Done with the list. So Yishkoyach.
How much do you have to give for that?
Anything above 36. Rabbi Isai. I don't know the amount. I think it's close to 600 people join this monthly, mdymonthly.com. I want to thank every single one. It's a tremendous thing. We're going to do tremendous things with that money. Artists, tech, all sorts of great stuff. It's going to be a great year. Yishkoyach for the help. And everybody should be zocheh to all the brachas. And now, here we go. Oh, the koilel. We actually do have a sponsor for the month of the koilel. He contacted me literally before I came. He's, of course, anonymous. I don't know what he wants it. Do you know what he wants it for? Did he contact you?
I did see something for the koilel, but it starts in a couple of days.
Okay. No. He said it's starting right now. Lili Nishmas, the Masech, the sponsor. Lili Nishmas is Baruch ben Moshe Aaron. Lili Nishmas Mishalosah ben Not Shalom. If I hatzlacha b'chol hanyanim for my children, we should actually daven for the koilel guys. They need it. I'm serious. I speak to my chavrus. He said I just did yesterday the Chagiga and Megillah. Today I'm doing Yuma. I mean, they have to do over 1,000 daf, and the test is like in a week. The second sponsor for the Masechta, Jeff Razin, zchus my son Yosef Simcha Chaim ben Chana, Refuah Shlaima. The rest of the Masechta sponsored Refuah Shlaima of Avi Mandel ben Avraham Mנשה ben Chana Brocha. And the Paras HaChodesh, Nishma zechurya ben Moshe. Last day for the second Paras HaChodesh and the last Paras HaChodesh. As a zchus, Hashem should watch over me and ensure that I'm completely healthy at Me'ev Esrim. This one is a tough one. Hatzlacha Rabbo, Shabbos Kesher Nafshi B'li Tzara. Zivig Hogan, Moshe ben Esther Fego, and Gdali David ben Beraanah Miller. Okay. Rabbi say brand new parak. Brand new parak. The Mishnah is sponsored by Moshe Cohen, who stepped up to sponsor the Mishnah. Is the zchus for Limanat Torah, Gduli hatzlacha and parnasa. Again, we got to remind them it's a very difficult time now, but we don't have a lot of days. We're starting a brand new Masechtas in the Darim. Brand new. So bring your friends. Go out there and get somebody. Hanoisei eso isho. Person marries a woman. He says he's going to take care of his stepdaughter, his stepdaughter for 5 years. Now his mistake was he wasn't very specific. You know, if you speak to lawyers, you have to know. By the way, I have to say Shalom Aleichem from West Hampstead. What's your name again? Kobe Leiber. Shalom Aleichem. Welcome. Shkoyach. So he says, I'm going to take care of your daughter for 5 years. He doesn't say if we get divorced, if we don't get divorced. No, 5 years, no matter what. What happened? You thought we were going to start late? Come, sit down. Let's see. First, Sarah Simcha story. Come on. Huh?
He's new. He gets a free Gemara, right?
Oh, yeah. Mayor Planko, who's next to you? What's the guy's name? Shalom Aleichem. He's a shy guy. I don't know. What's your name? Ruvain? Durbach. From? Around the Shalom Aleichem, Ruvain. This is going to be great. Wow. No.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't need it. He's used to learning without a Gemara. He doesn't. It started already. We didn't even start. It started already. Gary, you're amazing. What time did you get home last night?
Around 1:45.
1:45. Okay, beautiful. Chayiv lazuna chamishanim. Since he promised he's going to support this stepdaughter for 5 years. 5 years. Nisis la'acher, the wife. His new wife gets married to somebody else. She knows what she's doing, this woman. She realizes every time she gets married, she gets support for her daughter. She lures these guys in to support the daughter for 5 years. 5 years a pop. 2 husbands, 10 years total. He can't say, well, somebody else is taking care of her. It's not my problem. No, he has to take care of her for 5 years. The first guy can't say, well, obviously, Rashi points out, if you read it literally, the first guy says, when she comes back to me, I will be mefarnes her. Now, we know that she can never get married to him again. It's a mitzvah to marry your ex, but as long as she doesn't get married to somebody else. Over here, she married a second man, she can't go. It just means, had she been married to me, I would have been mefarnes her. He has to constantly send a check to where the mother is, and the Gemara is going to be medayik here that the daughters go with the mother. Let's just support her. All she needs is some food. Let together, we'll jointly, in a joint effort, we'll pay together. You know, it happens like, I don't know of a great example. Let's say you get insurance for your flight, and then you lose your luggage, like happened to me, but I'm one of those klutzes that never goes after, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, those guys, I never cash in. I got the insurance. So then you go to your credit card, and you go to them, then you go to the airline, and you get from them, and you go to the insurance on. So sometimes they tell you, no, we can only give you on condition that, you know, you never collected. Sometimes not. I don't know how it works really. I never really went after them. You could do both. You get both. Okay. So maybe I should do, because I remember I lost my luggage in Africa. What they do is one thing. Is it legal or not? That's a different. I don't know if it's legal. But anyway, over here it says that it's legal to go after both of them. You have 2 insurance policies here. Both men are chayev mezainos. You go after both of the men for the same time, because Really what it is, it's not even food, it's money. Each guy promised they're going to support in a monetary way. Let's say it costs $1,000 a year. Each one promised $1,000 a year, so she gets $2,000, $1,000 from each one. Mesu. Now, if these men die, b'nai sehen, their own daughters, their biological daughters, they can only go after what's available, assets that are available, but not after assets that the father sold off, properties and such. But the stepdaughter is more powerful than his own daughter, and she could go after the sold properties. He owes her $1,000. He promised her 5 years of support. So it's like a regular loan that he took out, and she goes after it. Hapikchim. So this whole mission is for dummies. Because if you have a little seichel and you went to yeshiva and you learned this mishnah, you know how to write a shtar. You're right. I'm only going to take care of my stepdaughter if I have a connection with her, if I'm married to the mother. If that goes bye-bye, I'm not gonna support the girl anymore, and then you avoid all issues. Who?
Mother.
Yeah, maybe not. She's not my daughter. She has another father somewhere else. Let her go over there. Same. You're not mechuyev to support her just because you married the mother. Saying there's decency, there's and there's chiyuv dereis, there's chiyuvim. What are you mechuyev, and what a nice person would take care of her, let's say, if she doesn't have a father. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about what is the chiyuv. Itmar. So we're going Shas Katan over here. According to Rashi, this is a sugya of somebody that admits that he owes money. Because you can learn the sugya that somebody is obligating himself again. He's making a new shibud. That's not what's going on here. So, start out with, if you have a shtar that you signed, this 2 signatures, this edim, you wrote it, you chayiv money. What happened over here? He just said with his mouth, according to the Havamina of the Gemara, he says, I owe you money. Just by saying it, you're chayiv, Reb Shlokish is potter, says the Gemara, wait a minute, let's qualify what we're saying here. If he says, I owe money to so-and-so, and there's a bunch of people listening, and he says, you're my edim. My time the Reb Shlokish the kapotar. So what's the svara to say that you're potter? And if he didn't make everybody edim, my time the Reb Yochanan come chayiv. Says the Gemara, what's going on here is he never said anything. He wrote it down, he gave it in front of edim, and there's no signature. 3 things. It's in writing, but there's no signature, and it was given in front of people, in front of edim. But he never said to them, you are my edim. So it's kind of weak. Rabbi Yochanan Chayav Alima Milsa the Shtora Kamandamalu Atamei Dami. Now we're going to see a shtar is a very powerful thing, because if you have a shtar and then you go ahead and you sell something afterwards, so you can mess up the buyer. If I owe you money and I sell my house, you could go and take the house. That means that you're messing the guy up. Whoever bought the house, he's living there with his whole family, he moved into the house. Also, you knock on the door and say, Eli owes me money, get out of the house. But if there's a shtar, so you're supposed to know, it's your responsibility now to find out that I owe somebody money. Why? Because the shtar has a call. People know about it. So we're talking about shtars here. What kind of shtar? What's a good shtar? Because it's not a joke to make a shtar, because at the end of the day, somebody can lose out from this. So there's no chasima here. There's no witnesses. There were witnesses, the edim, but not in the shtar. And he never said anything to them. So Reb Yochanan says, the shtar, edim dami. It's very strong. The shtar has the strength as if he said to everybody around, you should be my edim. It's not that strong. Fine. What does that have to do with us? As usual, we bring a random halacha because it has to do with our Mishnah. In the case of our Mishnah, he marries this woman and he says, you know what, I'm going to take care of the stepdaughter. So he's mechuyev. Now what happened over here? So we have to make a little cheshbon, a real quick cheshbon. What happened? Is there a real shtar with edim? No. Why? then what's the chiddush, says Tosfos? If there's a real shtar with Eidim, then I don't need this Mishnah. That's like any obligation that what's the difference if I owe you $1,000 because I borrowed $1,000 to buy a car, or I owe you $1,000 because I promised I'm going to support your daughter? It's the same $1,000. I don't need a Mishnah for that. That, oh, he's chayav $1,000. It's in a shtar, yeah, Eidim there. So what happened was, there's no shtar. Must be that it's a similar case to what we're talking about. He wrote it without signing it, without finding Eidim, and he did it in front of 2 Eidim. Must be that case. Otherwise, there's no chiddush. Says Gemara loy b'shtari psiksa ukid Rav Gidel. My chavrusa, Reb Eli the Kramer, Mendy's chavrusa as well, told me that when his daughter got married, like I don't know, 2-3 years ago during COVID, when was that? Seems like a lifetime ago. His daughter got married, and he said, "I'm going to give my daughter this," and the mechutin said, "I'm going to give that." And then when they were done, the mechutin, who's a very famous Talmud Chacham, Rabbi Piltz, his father's the famous Rabbi Piltz from Tivra. So the mechutin says, "Okay, let's do a kinyan. Let's do just like a shalom aleichem, like a handshake, something." So Rabbi Didi told him, "No, Rav Gidel." She said, "Oh, okay, you're right, Rav Gidel. This is it, right over here, Rav Gidel." Gidel says, when it comes to this stuff, you don't need a kinyan. You don't have to pick up a yarmulke, nothing. You say this, I say that, and it's done deal. This guy says, how much do you give to your son for the wedding? X amount. How much do you give for your daughter? You don't need a kinyan. That itself that you say, I'm going to give, that's enough. If you ever notice, you go to a chasana, and the mechabed, this guy to sign, and that guy to sign, and it's never the chassan. You ever see the chassan? The chassan, he's the one that owes all the money. He never signs. What's pshat? Rav Gidel. Seriously. It's Rav Gidel. You can sign anything you want. Doesn't matter. The chassan is the one that made this chayiv. He said, I'm going to take care of this woman. He's chayiv. That's it. Huh? Okay, so look, they also do a shtar. They do a shtar also. I'm saying you're not mechuyev to. Rav Gidel says you don't have to. And where's the father's chasima? I'm saying the father. What in this thing? But I think we in our days we don't. The father's name is chayiv. The father's chayiv. It says in the thing. And if he doesn't have a father, I don't know. What's the lashon of the father? Yeah. Okay. The Gemara is going to say at the end that it's. Here's another thing. You ever thought about? It's called the mechutin. Mechutin. What does mechutin mean? There's no English word. What does it mean? Why is it called the mechutin? Because of this Gemara right here. We'll see it on Amud Beis. It's the hana of getting married, of chasnos. Mechutin. The two mechutanim. That's what you're saying. The fathers, they have a certain hana that the kids are getting married, and that hana creates a kinyan. Tashma. So, back to the question. A guy writes down that he owes X amount of money, there's no Eidim. According to Reb Eli, he's chayiv. So, let's bring it right. He writes to a kohen, I owe you 5 sloim. The Vilgain's yard time, when was it? Yesterday? Friday. So, they just say about him that he used to, anytime he met a kohen, he used to say, here's 5 slime, I want to be paid to myself, because he didn't trust the fact that the true kohanim, like he wasn't sure who the real kohen is, who's not. I told you already the story, when I became bar mitzvah, I made maybe $200 my entire bar mitzvah. My father said, go take the money, go be paid to yourself. I'm serious, because he's a chronic. So I go, so who do you go to? You go to Rappaport. Rappaport is, Shem Dover, kohen. I go to his house, I knock on his door. He opens up the door like a real Bnei Braki, real. His mom. It was probably like Purim because he was so depressed. He's like, yo. I said I want to be paid myself. Not come in, have a seat. Go. It's right by the door. He had the nusach ready. He goes, read it at the door. I said, Get out of here. He took my money, slammed the door. I'm not joking. It was like, whoa, that was all my bar mitzvah money, dude. Okay, fine. No, I had to go first, get silver, you ever saw this? Like real silver. I went to the silver store. They sold little things of silver, little beads of silver. Okay, anyway. It's all a different story. You know who gave me my $200? Lev Levayev. Lev Levayev was my next one. It lived 3 feet away from him. We didn't know that Lev Levayev, the guy that built, what's the name? Kvishesh? Lev Levayev, the wealthiest guy in Eretz Yisrael. Anyways, he lived in Bnei Brak, in Ramat Chanan, Rechav Zanafel 14. Look it up. On the 3rd floor, we were apartment 10, he was apartment 9, door to door. Lev Levayev. Okay. Weiter. I don't know. Fine. Says the Gemara. Mises. Which one? Which one? Of Lev Levayev or the Pinyan Ben? I said Pinyan Ben. Really? I remember saying it.
Fact check.
Okay. Yosef will pull it out for sure. Okay. You guys are new. I have no idea where we are. He tells the Kohen, I owe you 5 slime. Guess what happens here? It messes him up. It's as if he wrote him a shtar that he owes him 5 selah. Nothing to do with the Pinyan Ben. And his son you have to give him another 5 selah. It's going to cost the guy 10 selah because he wrote a shtar. So, over here also, there's no chasima, there's nothing. So I could write a shtar. It does work. Says the Gemara, no. Shani Hossam, the Meshubale Midiraisa. You have to give Pinyan Ben. So, Memela, it works. Minatayr, you chayiv to give. So that's why I could write a shtar like that. Why do you have to write it then? So what's the point of writing a shtar? It's in the Torah. The Torah says you have to give 5 selah. So why is he writing I owe you 5 selah? Oh, because like the Ma'aseh that we said last week, where there's a lot of kohanim, everybody's fighting over who should be the kohen. So he wrote, you're going to be my kohen, don't worry about it. Oh, if he just wrote a shtar to make sure that he's the kohen, so it should work. Why does he have to give him 10 selah? 5 selah is enough. Says the Gemara, you're right. At the end of the day, if all you need to do is 5 selah, he pays up the shtar and he's good. Why doesn't it work? When it comes to Pinyan Ben, you can't use a shtar that I owe you shtar. Somebody owes the father money. I owe you. Maybe a check. I wouldn't go be part of yourself. Like if I would have gone to that coin with a check, it's a third party shtar. That doesn't work. Third party. It has to be your money. So if I'm going to use a shtar over here, people might come to think that you could use a third party check or a third party shtar, and that's a problem. And also another problem is people might think that this shtar actually worked right now. Right now he's paddy. It only worked once you pay up. Okay. So Mela, it's like almost like not a knas, but because of this zchus, they said, you know what, pay twice. All my Rava, this whole machlokes that we have between Rebbe Eli and Shlakish, that if somebody writes a shtar without Eidim, and he does it in front of Eidim, and Rashi learns the sugya that it's Haidah. He admits, I borrowed money from this guy. I want to make it official. I want the guy to not lose out on me. Says the Gemara, Orev, we have a machlokes tonight. Orev hayoytze acher chitim shtaris. You have a guarantor. I spoke about this. It's a deraisa to be guarantor. It's a very nice thing to do. Just before you do it, make sure you know what you're doing, because I know somebody in this neighborhood who paid off, I think it was 2 million shekel. He's a very not wealthy person. He paid up to the last dime because somebody said, could you be an Arv? Yeah, I'll be an Arv. No problem. Be an Arv. And the guy stuck him for $2 million. They come, shekel, 2 million shekel. Came after him and he paid up every dime. It's the worst feeling in the world. Because at least if you spent the money and you bought something with it, he got 0 out of it. All you're doing is paying somebody else's. Okay. And I used to do it also. People used to say, could you just be my Arv? Yeah, how many people signed 3? You don't realize that if the guy doesn't pay, they come right out, these gemachim. So you have to be careful. Do it, but do it b'seichel. So, Arv is a guarantor. So he put his name in there after you have the whole shtar and everything's done. He's an after effect. What's the word? an addendum, afterthought. Like, you know what? Could you be an Arvia? The shtar is done already. So the malva could go after the Arev from Nechasim and Echarim. There was a guy, why not? This I for sure said, we'll say it a little different maybe. There's a very wealthy guy in Manhattan. He comes into the bank, he says, I want a loan for $10,000 for 30 days. He says, and I'm going to give you my Mercedes as a mashkin, as collateral. Yeah, okay, everybody knows it already. We'll say it anyway. He doesn't know it. He doesn't know. Okay, for you guys. But you have to promise when it's done, you laugh like a Meshuggah. Okay, it's a Porsche. It was a Mercedes. It was a Toyota Camry. The one I bought 10 years old when I moved to Eretz Yisrael. So after 30 days, he comes back and he pays up to $10,000. And the manager of the bank says, I don't understand something. I know you. You're a multi-millionaire. Why do you need $10,000? He said, no, I don't need $10,000. I needed a parking spot. I was going to Europe. I don't want to place parking here in Manhattan. Okay. Chaim, you did great job. Okay. What's his name? Didn't even laugh. Where's that guy that always laughs for us? Oh, he's not here. Okay. Says the Gemara. So this Arev is a guarantor. Maisa balafnei Rabbi Shmuel v'amar goyva. Hold on a second. So over here, so what's the story? A guy, he's an Arev. He signed the document after it was done, but in front of Adam, he admits that he's going to be the Arev, but he's one of these Arevim. That's what I was saying. He admits that he said it's okay because the guy asked him, but he didn't realize. He's saying now, no, I don't want to pay. I didn't think I'm going to have to pay. So that's the problem here. It's not mimeshubad, but you could go after the properties that he has now, nothing that he sold. Benana, so he argues. Benana, you have machlokes Rabbi Shmuel and Benana. Benana says, "Einay goyva loy minachaz menichayim, loy minachaz meshubadim." He doesn't get anything. Omar loy lama. So there's a massive Tosfos over here. I did some of it for you. The way Tosfos explains Rashi, that Rashi is explaining the sugya. It's a little difficult to understand, I have to admit. But there's a little bit of a switcheroo going on here. Because until now, Rashi is learning the whole sugya that we're talking about Haida. A guy admits that he owes so-and-so money. By a Arev, it's something different. By a Arev, he's taking upon himself a new shibud. He's starting something new right now from scratch. So the Gemara is saying, Lama. In other words, okay, so I admit that you can't go back and admit something. But right now, let him take on a new responsibility. He's admitting that he wants to be an Arev. Let him go from here on out. A guy's choking out his friend in the middle of the market. In other words, not literally, but he's putting the pressure on. He bumps into the guy avoids him every month. Every time he's in shul, the guy goes this way, that way. You know those guys. He finally catches him. He pins him down in the middle of the street. He says, when are you going to pay me? Pay me now. You're a Russia. You owe me all this money. You don't understand what you're doing to me. Somebody walks by and he sees what's going on. He says, stop. I got this. How much does he owe you? I'll take care of it. So I'll pay up. Potter, he doesn't have to pay. Why? When does a guy become a guarantor? B'shas Maisa. You can't become a guarantor 6 months later. And that's our sugi here. You can't add a shibud. You can make a shibud at the time of the halva. Says the Gemara, okay, so I got a little chart here. I don't know what that is. Here we go. Why did I put this in here? The Mishnah over there says, okay. All right. Here we have, maybe it's coming up. We have Reb Yochanan and Rish Lakish on top. That's the machlokes that we're discussing. That if a person wrote in a shtar, he wrote, I owe you money, but there was no chasima, loy chasam, according to Reb Yochanan Chayiv, according to Rish Lakish Pater. Now we have another machlokes. Reb Shmuel says that if the guy became a guarantor, there's no chasima or anything, he's chayiv. No, it lines up with the Reb Yochanan. You could write in a shtar, I owe you money, a guarantor could write, I'll take responsibility in the shtar. Isn't that the same thing? Chayav. And Rish Lakish on the other side is like bananas. That Arev, if he takes on the guarantee of the shtar, he's potter. Rish Lakish says, if you take on a new shtar, you're potter. Says the Gemara, very similar to what we had yesterday, the same 4 boxes. I used the same chart from yesterday. Says the Gemara, let me see if I have this. No, I didn't do the same thing as yesterday. So the Gemara says no. According to Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yochanan's for sure not going to get along with bananas. That's true. But perhaps Rish Lakish could get along with Rabbi Shmuel. You see? Rabbi Yochanan in blue cannot get along with bananas in red. That's true. But don't say that Rish Lakish only goes like bananas in red. Rish Lakish could go like Rabbi Shmuel in blue. Why? That alim the bananas kulam aloi pligi, Rabbi Yochanan is not going to get along with. Ki pligi alim the Rish Shmuel. Could Rish Lakish get along with Rabbi Shmuel? Rabbi Shmuel, Rish Lakish al kan like Rabbi Shmuel asam el the shayach le l'shibud de raisa. Over there by the Arev, it's that's why I put the pasuk in here. Here we go. It's in Bereshis by Yehuda. He says, "Anochi arvenu." It's a lashon of arvos. I'm going to be your Arev. I'm guaranteeing that I'll bring him back. Anochi arvenu miyadi tevakshenu b'yamin. So Rabbi Yochanan Rabbi Shmuel, Rish Lakish al kan like Rabbi Shmuel asam el the shayach le l'shibud de raisa. It has a makar in the Torah. hatzlacha. By the loan, a loan is the deraisa, but in our case, that it's a loan that's a balpeh loan. It's not with the shtar, with edim, the whole thing. So there's no shibu deraisa. So that's why Rish Lakish says he's completely potter. But when it comes to arvis, it could be that Rish Lakish would admit that he's chayiv. A guy becomes a new arv, since it has a makar in the Torah, is the deraisa. He is chayiv according to Rish Lakish. So let's go back to this chart. It's very possible that Rish Lakish will hold like the bottom right corner, Rabbi Shmuel, that if a guy is a Arev and he didn't sign, he is chayiv according to Rish Lakish, even though by signing a shtar, Rish Lakish is potter, by Arev is chayiv because Arev is in the Torah. Fine. Gufa, Omer of Gidel Omer Rav. Sponsor, thank you. In honor of my uncle, no. As a zchus, what? Turning of the Daf is sponsored as a zchus to continue being able to support Torah and to finish shots with Reb Eli. Yosef, I see you're on vacation here. Like we're down to like 1 monthly, 1 turning of the Daf, no koilel, but it started to come back. I have to say. Yeah.
I told you the monthly thing with the.
Can't blame you. Okay, fine. It's going to start. It's picking up already. I see it already picking up. Gufa, unless it's my fault, all these $18 guys are not doing it. Mendy says it's all the $18 guys. Like, why should I sponsor $2,000? I'm already giving $18. Yeah, okay. Nah, chas v'shalom. Gufa. You know what? It comes in, it doesn't come in, it's all in the shamayim, it doesn't matter. Nobody can change anything here. Gufa, Omer Rav, Gidol Omer Rav. You make a kiddushin, everything, whatever the fathers decided between themselves, it becomes concrete solid. Can't take it back. I can't tell you how many stories I heard from my friends that, fathers promised, who knows what, diras, and then it comes after the Maisa, see you later. It's concrete solid. What? Let's read it again for them. It's over. Just by saying it, you don't have to write it in a shtar. It's very possible. Seriously, it can be melamed zchus on a lot of people. People don't know this halacha. They didn't learn the daf, so they don't know that it doesn't have to be in writing. They could say, listen, yeah, we had a shmooze. We schmoozed it over, and I promised an apartment, but now I don't want to give an apartment. Force me. I didn't sign. You don't have to sign, it says in the Gemara. There's one thing they don't need to sign. You don't need a document. By saying it to the mechutin, that's it. So why is he called a mechutin? Says Rava that we're talking about a girl that is at the age where the father accepts her kiddushin. So this is a kinyan kesef. You pay me, and it becomes like a kinyan. That's how I buy something in the store. There's money transferred here. It goes to the father, yeah. The diamond ring goes to the father. But once she gets older, she's 12 and a half plus. Lie. Ve'elokim, and a shvua, I swear. Omer Rav afilu begeres. Well, my svara doesn't fit into Rav, because Rav says even when she's older, when the father doesn't get any money, there's no money transferred, there's still a kinyan. How do we explain this kinyan? But the father of the boy never gets any money. So how come he's mechayev and it's a real solid kinyan? When they get married, they become a chutanim. That's where it comes from, right over here, this Gemara. They become a chutanim. Gamri umakne lahadadi. There's a Gemira's das, that's a kinyan. You don't need a shtar, says the Gemara. You don't need a shtar. Finished. I know someone that doesn't talk to Shver since they got married because of this. Mamish. By the engagement, the father-in-law said, I'll give you this and this and this and that. And after the chasana, he was right. I know that the guy said it. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't really do it now. Shalom. The guy doesn't talk to them. They don't talk for years. Zog the Gemara. It's unfortunate.
It's not a combination of things.
Huh?
It's not a combination of things, not one thing.
Well, an apartment is a pretty stark thing, no? A couple $100,000 promised. So listen, I don't want to marry the daughter. I want an apartment, and I'm not getting the apartment, so I'll see you later. Okay, Zog the Gemara. Dvarim halalu nitn likasev, oy lo nitn likasev. Since this is all done balpeh, could I put it in writing? Now, what's the problem to put it in writing? Now we know what the problem is. Because when you put it in writing, what happens? It becomes so strong that everybody could come and take from, if you sell a property, then it could be, you could lose it. They could come after people that you sell properties to. Yeah, the son-in-law will just knock on people's doors and grab properties that the father-in-law sold. Because it's not, so the question is this going to be something that has a call, that it goes out and people know about it? So no, you shouldn't write it down. It's a problem to write it down. But it says in our Mishnah, finally we get to what's going on here. Why do we have all this? Because it says in our Mishnah, the smart ones would write down Almanas on condition so it says that you would write down, so you're allowed to write down something, a deal that you make that has to do, a deal between the chassan and the kala, between the two fathers, you write it down. So the Gemara, okay, I'll try to wiggle my way out of this. My kaisin, oimer. Doesn't necessarily mean, he wrote it down. It means they said it. But we have, what's the word I'm looking for? We have an asmachta, it's not the first time we're saying this svara. What?
Precedent.
Precedence. Precedent. Precedent?
Precedent.
The president.
Not president.
I know. Precedent. Says the Gemara, this is not a chiddush that we're making up here. Do we ever say, we call, and just saying a writing in? And you say this, if a person writes to his wife, I don't have anything to do with your belongings, so he could still eat the peiros, right? We learned this. Still eats peiros. It doesn't mean he wrote it. He said it. Okay. Tashma. You cannot write a shtar for Erison. Now we're going to see what it is, unless both the chassan and the kal agree. So if both the chassan and the kal agree, you could write it down. You're asking me, could you write the stuff down? We said no. Over here you say you could write it down as long as everybody agrees. If not, and what are we talking about? A shtar that talks about all the financial arrangements and everything. We're talking about literal erison that says, Hare at mekudeshes li. That's what you can write down. And that's one of the ways that you get engaged, right? Shtar. Let's say they had a great shidduch, but they never discussed it with the girl. And before they even read it, they already wrote down the document. You might as well save some time. Write down, Hare at Rachel mekudeshes to so-and-so. It's unbelievable. It was l'shma. It had in mind this girl, but they forgot to talk to her about it. That's a small detail.
Details.
Yeah, details. I told my daughter, I said, I already booked the hall, everything, you just need a chassan. Small detail, just a small. It's good. You hear this? It's a good kiddushin. It's good. It works. The shtar. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about a shtar erusin. Okay. Tashma. Yeah, could you write it down? You don't write it down. The deals of kiddushin. So it says in our Mishnah, Mesu, if the husbands died, the daughters, his own daughter gets from property that he has still. Vihi, but the stepdaughter is more powerful. Now, how in the world could the stepdaughter grab from people that he sold properties to? Must be that was written. There's a shtar. So you can do shtar. You're right. But there was a deal. They used a handkerchief. They made a deal. And that, in conjunction with the shtar, creates a kol. Now there's rumors going around, and everybody knows that there was a deal. Ask the Gemara, if there was a deal, why is his own daughter different? His own daughter doesn't have a deal? There's a deal. Says the Gemara, they didn't make a kinyan for the daughter, for his own daughter. They made a kinyan for the stepdaughter. Ask the Gemara, my paska. In other words, do you have to explain this, or you don't have to explain it? Is it so simple to you? When I write in the Mishnah that there's a stepdaughter and there's a daughter, do you, without any explanation, without Rashi, without anybody, you know automatically that the stepdaughter, I made a kinyan, I did like this, a handkerchief, and my own daughter I didn't. Because if you don't know that by yourself, then how can you say that that's pshat in the Mishnah? Why would I write it without explaining it? If I write something in the Mishnah without explaining, obviously everybody gets it on their own. At least in that generation. Everybody, they get it. You can't make something up and say, oh, there's a case where the stepdaughter is a kinyan and this one's not. So now we'll understand better. You're right. You can't do something like that. Says the Gemara, the stepdaughter. When was she born, the stepdaughter? Before they got married. She came around. She was around by the marriage. They asked her not to come to the chasana or whatever, but she was there. So you can make a kinyan for someone that's alive. Banais, but their daughter that they had together from this new marriage, they weren't there at the kinyan, at the chasana. Right? A regular couple gets married, and he promises his wife in the Kesubos he's going to take care of her kids. The kids are not in the world yet. You can't make a kinyan for somebody that's not in the world yet. But the stepdaughter is alive, so it makes a lot of sense now. That I don't have to explain. Now I understand. The stepdaughter is alive, the kinyan works for her, the kid that they're going to have together is not in the world, it doesn't work for her. Says the Gemara, but that's not 100% accurate. Why? But it's possible that the kid that they had together was at their wedding. How? Because they got married a second time. They got divorced, they got married a second time. You know, I wasted my time because it's such a simple thing. There's no reason for me to make this chart. Everybody got it? Oh, there's Gishmak. Here, check this out. This couple got married. They had a daughter. She's kind of older now. And then they got divorced. Look at this. Oh. I could have used this during Yavamis. You got divorced. And then... Oh. Yeah. This is correct. Because Because this is a stepdaughter. I'm showing you what a stepdaughter is. Stepdaughter is the 5-town lady has a daughter from another marriage, from the dentist. And then she went and she got married to Ruvain and they had a kid together. So now the woman from the 5 towns has 2 kids. One is Ruvain's real daughter and one is Ruvain's stepdaughter. That's what I did. Then they got divorced and then they got married again. The same 5-town got married again. But then it goes again. It goes to another step. Then she continues going weiter. She marries another man and has another daughter with her because we're talking about 2 fathers. Remember the Mishnah talks about 2 fathers. If 2 fathers promise mezainis. So just repeat this. I didn't have time to do it again. Repeat this thing. It goes on again. Fine. The bottom line is, so these two girls here, these two women on the bottom, were both at their parents' wedding, the second wedding. When there's balloons, they were both alive. So the kinyan is chal for both of them. Isn't it possible? It's possible something like that happened. So why are you saying in the Mishnah that it's impossible? That the stepdaughter has a kinyan and the real daughter doesn't have a kinyan. It's possible that even the real daughter has a real kinyan. The stepdaughter is not in Bezdin. Don't force him to support her. If he wants to be a nice guy, he could. Banais, but your own daughter, this is not Night Bezdin. It's in the Kesuba that you have to support your own daughters. So Gemara says, so for them, since they're in the Night Bezdin, it doesn't help them make a kinyan. So that's why the kinyan is only for the stepdaughter, not for the daughter. As the Gemara Migra Gari, why should your own daughter be worse? Why doesn't a kinyan work? Doesn't make any sense. A kinyan should work. Why does it not work? Your own daughter, it's very possible somebody's own daughter at his deathbed, he says, come here, I want to support you. Here, take a bag full of cash. Fine. But nobody's going to do that to his stepdaughter. To his own daughter, yeah. So if it's possible that he gave his own daughter cash, so then we have to be concerned that maybe his daughter is going to go after people that don't really owe money. The Mishubadim are not really for her because she already got paid off. That's why it only works for the stepdaughter. Reb Eli, have a great Yom Tov. Matzah Yom Tov, 9 o'clock Be'ezer Hashem. Or let's be realistic, 9:10 or 9 o'clock. I'm going to try for 9. I'm trying for 9. Here, right here.